Hey, you're listening to Not the Girl Next Door show, and I have Mindy from Whispers of October. How are you, Mindy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Can you tell everyone a little bit about the band, like where you guys are from, everybody's names, and maybe how you guys met?
We are from Central Missouri. I'm from around the lake area, and then Gary, who's our bass player, is from Columbia. Beazle, who's our drummer, is also from Columbia. And then Seth is our guitar player, and he actually moved to Jefferson City from Joplin just last year, actually. We got together, let's see, I'm trying to think. I think it was August of last year. I started looking for it was Beazle and I was looking for a guitar player, and I actually found Seth on, I think it was bandmix.com or something like that. And so we had him come out and audition, and then about a week later, I found Gary on Facebook, and then we had him come out and audition, and then by the time that we all got done, that second audition, by the time that we all got done, it was like, this is my band. These are my guys. I'm not letting these guys go. If they're willing to stick with me, I'm not going to be willing to let these guys go at this point. So.
And who would you say, like, overall as a band, are some of your musical influences?
Oh, gosh. We have a ton of musical influences, actually, and all different genres as well. A lot of Korn has influenced us from all of their different albums. I know Beazle definitely is influenced a lot by the Foo Fighters. I take influence from, all sorts of different musical places. In this moment, for me, has made a huge impact musically. Slipknot, I'm trying to think. I know the guys listen to a lot of, heavier, thrashier stuff than what I do. But, there's just a huge range of musical influences for us.
And I can hear it in the sound. Like, you have some really big vocals, which I think are awesome. I hate to say it, being a girl, and it's not that I don't like female lead singers. It's just I tend to gravitate away from female lead singers, which is weird because I've met a lot of males that say they gravitate towards female singers first.
I actually have met a lot of women that say that. Actually, we have a fan that lives not too far from me, as a matter of fact, and she does not like female vocalists. She, most of the bands that she listens to actually are Swedish metal bands, and she just is not fond of female vocals for whatever reason, and she loves our music. So to me, that's kind of a huge thing.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, like, I love your music, and I think you're awesome, an awesome vocalist. And
Thank you.
I hate, and I can probably name on one hand maybe some female fronted bands that I like a lot or that I think excel, and I don't want it to be that way. I don't like that at all. But do you think it's harder being a female and being because your rock, the sound to me, the rock that you guys produce is a harder rock. I mean, you think it's harder being a female and being in a quote quote industry where it's dominated by males like that?
I do think I kind of think that it's both ways, to be honest. It's harder in the aspect that people are going to listen to our music, and they're going to, especially women. Mm-hmm. Women are going to listen to our music, and they are either going to love it or they're going to hate it because they're going to critique it because they're women.
Right.
Because that's what we do. We listen to the vocals from female singers, and we're like, oh man, I just really don't like that. Or God, I just love the way that her voice sounds, because I do that myself. And I think that makes it a little bit more difficult for me with female fans. But at the same time, I think we also kind of have it easier because we're something different. Yeah. Because I'm sure that there is somebody out there that I sound like, but I haven't really found a whole lot of female singers that I sound, like ridiculously similar to. So I think it's easier because we sound different. So, when we go out, we're kind of, especially when we play shows. I've only played shows with a handful of other female singers. And so, when we go out and we play shows, people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you get up there and you sing like that with that music. And it kind of opens people up, and they're like, that's really different, especially for our area. So.
Well, that was actually one of my questions. In the area that you guys are in, is there a big rock scene, or is there a big music scene, or how is it, where you guys are at?
There is a big music scene. Unfortunately, it's kind of limited to, what and where you're going to play at. There's a lot of country music. The rock scene is actually pretty slim here. Rock or metal, and there's kind of like this extreme. It's either, country music or thrash and death metal. There's not really a whole lot of in between. So we kind of stick out like a sore thumb in our area, actually.
Now, what kind of sound, for people who haven't heard you before, how would you describe the kind of music that Whispers of October produces?
Oh, man. I have a hard time with that question because I don't really feel like there is, one way in particular to describe it. We actually have a fan in St. Louis that described us as being if Stone Sour and Hailstorm had a baby, and then Korn and In This Moment had a baby, and then those two babies got together and had a baby, that would be Whispers of October.
That's excellent. That's a great
I think that's actually a perfect association.
Now, how did you guys come up with the name Whispers of October?
Whispers of October is actually a spoken word track by In This Moment, because I am a huge fan of In This Moment. And when I decided that I wanted to start a band, it was October. And my birthday is actually also in October as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I was sitting on my front porch, and I was writing the song I'll Try, and it was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful outside, and it was just kind of perfect. And I was listening to that spoken word track, and I thought, God, that would be such a beautiful name for a band. I love that. And over the course of the next couple of weeks, as I continued to write songs and keep songs and, do things like that, I was like, I really like that name. I really want to, get this band going and call it that, because I struggled with other names that I would potentially call it, and I kept coming back to Whispers of October. And I thought, you know what? If it's really sticking with me that much, then that's just what I'm going to call the band.
Oh, definitely. Right. It was a sign. It kept coming out, so it was a great idea. Now, the first song that I heard when I got your music was Watch Me Burn. Can you tell us a little bit about that song and what it's about?
Watch Me Burn, that actually is one of the first songs that we did together. Excuse me. And I think with that song that, when I write, I take a lot of emotion, and I try to put as much emotion as I can into a song. And when I wrote Watch Me Burn, it kind of, not all of my songs necessarily are always going to be about my own personal experiences. They may be about, someone else's experiences that I'm kind of channeling for them. But with Watch Me Burn, that is a song that, just kind of, I think everybody can kind of relate to at one point in time in their life, having that person, that they would give everything for, and then they just don't care. They just don't seem to either reciprocate, or they just treat you like crap all the time. And, that's kind of where that came from, is because it's, I think everybody at some point in time has dealt with a person like that. And it's so frustrating. And it's like you feel like you are just being, set aflame, and they just stand there and watch you burn.
Now, when you see people at your shows and you see your fans singing your songs and, you put your heart and your emotions or, someone else's story into it, how does that feel when you're up there on stage and you see people, singing your songs and your lyrics?
Oh gosh, the first time that ever happened, I actually really had a hard time continuing to sing my song. Because that's a huge thing. That the first time that ever happened, it was, it was like my whole body just went numb. I couldn't believe that there was somebody actually singing my songs back to me. And of course, it was. Now, I have friends that come and they sing along and stuff like that, and it's great for me because it's like, okay, people get this. People get what I'm singing about. People are connecting to this the way that I want them to. People are actually, feeling the emotion of this song or feeling, whatever feeling they happen to be, having at the time. It doesn't matter. They're feeling it and they're connected to me through this music. And we're having this moment right now where, they're sharing something with me that's, incredibly special to me.
And what can fans expect at a live show when they come to see you? What kind of performances or what kind of show do you guys put on?
We try as much as we can to be very interactive. Our bass player is amazing. He's amazingly high energy. And our guitar player, the guys are they really are amazingly energetic. And I try as much as I can to interact with people and kind of keep the mood going per song, I guess. Whichever, the way that we have our set list right now, we kind of grow from our not so heavy songs to our heavier songs. So it's kind of a progression. So I feel like, we try to kind of keep that energy going throughout the entire set. And it's a lot of fun just because, it is something a little bit different. We've got, I have my boar's head, Boris, that we're going to be using. He's going to have, he has fog that comes out of his mouth. And so it's just fun. We try to just have as much fun as what we can, and kind of get people to interact with us and get people to just feel it. I just want people to feel the emotions and the everything that anything that you can give me and let me know that you are there and you get it. That's going to be great for me.
Yeah, definitely. Now, all those feelings and emotions, from the songs and the music, is there any kind of crazy fan stories that you can tell us about that happened while you guys were performing live?
Not really that I can think of. Usually people are fairly good about kind of just standing there and jamming with me, Mm-hmm. I think our first show in Kirksville was probably the one where, people were really, really intense at that show. And I think that was really probably the craziest thing that's happened to us so far. I say so far because I know that now that I'm saying this, something crazy is going to happen. But yeah, the people in Kirksville were just very intense. They were, those guys were right there in my face, which was, it was great because for me, and that was my, my first time playing a show, and it was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. And then those, all those people were right there in my face, and they were loving it, and it was kind of like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So.
Now, do you guys use social media when you guys are going to have a show to promote the band? Do you think that social media is a great thing that helps bands, or do you think maybe it hinders a little bit, where maybe fans try to get maybe too intrusive? Like, what has your experience been with social media as a whole for the band?
I think it kind of goes both ways because, for us, we do use social media quite a bit, especially to promote shows and to promote music and things like that. It's great as far as, it really is a great tool as far as being able to reach the masses. We can post something up on Facebook and it's, that's something that can reach people globally, where there's no way that we would have been able to do that, just 30 years ago. But at the same time, I do feel as though, it is a little bit intrusive because, if you've got people that follow your band page, and they're personal Facebook friends with you, then they're being able to see, personal aspects of your life as well. I think that's just something that we've not really had any issues with, but at the same time, I know other bands have definitely had issues, especially bands that, we know that are close, either that we're friends with, have had issues with people, either sharing stuff that they weren't ready to share or, just seeing things in their personal lives that maybe they weren't quite ready for everybody else to know about. There are so many people that we would absolutely love to tour with. I know, man, we would love to tour with, the Deftones or Korn or, in this moment, Slipknot. I'm trying to think, Meshuggah, we would like to tour, there's so many that we would love to tour with. Trying to think of, let's see, who would be, I would say right now, I think, the best tour for us would probably be if Korn were still doing music, and touring and all of that. I would want to tour, me personally, I would want to tour with Korn in this moment and probably the Deftones.
I was going to bring this point up earlier, but I forgot. And I just, when you talk about Korn, Korn's one of my top bands, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I've never got to see them live, and I've been to so many concerts, but your sound, and I can hear it. I think you guys have a little bit, if you would mix a 90s sound, like a 90s like Korn sound, that kind of, not necessarily similar to the music, but mix that with music of today. And I think that's the sound that encompasses you a little bit, at least some of the music. And you like those bands too, so that shines through. So I think that would be a great tour, a reflective tour,
yeah, absolutely,
of everybody around that would be the same kind of sound as you as well.
That would be amazing.
Now, what are your plans for the rest of 2018? What do you have coming up? Do you have shows? Are you doing new music? What do you guys have planned for the rest of 2018?
Well, as of right now, we have a show in Columbia, Missouri, at the Rose Music Hall on the 6th of October, which also happens to be my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. That one I think is going to be a whole lot of fun. That is the Carnival of Ink after party show. And Carnival of Ink is a huge tattoo convention. So we get to play the after party show for them, which I think is going to be amazing. And I'm super excited about that because it's my birthday.
Of course.
I haven't actually got to play a show on my birthday before. So, and then the 12th of October, we are actually doing a show for Voodoo Queen Magazine in St. Louis at Just Bill's Place, and it's their Halloween music feast. I'm pretty excited about that one too because I love all things Halloween. So
right, definitely.
Anything Halloween, I'm like, yeah, I'm totally going to dig that. And then after October, we actually don't have any shows planned right now. We are going to be writing new music and hopefully recording new music. I know we have a couple of songs. Actually, right now at this point, we've got enough songs that when we go back into the studio, we'll be able to do another 4-song EP, and then kind of start promoting for that. So I'm excited.
Now, where can listeners find your music and find your merchandise? Where do you guys have your music and merch at right now?
We do have our own website, www.whispersofoctober.com, and on there you can find our music on our music player, and then you can also find all of our merchandise, our show dates, stuff like that. We actually have a blog that we do on there as well. And then as far as finding the music online, you can find it on Amazon, you can find it on iTunes, you can find it on Google Play, anywhere that they, digitally distribute music, it's going to be on there. They can stream us on Spotify, and any of the other, I don't think we're on Pandora yet, but most of the other streaming services, you can find us on there as well.
Awesome. I found you guys. We kind of found each other, and you guys have a new lyric. Yes, you have a new lyric video out right now on YouTube for "Watch Me Burn," right? Because I just actually checked that out a couple weeks ago for the lyric video.
Mhm. We do. We have the lyric video for "Watch Me Burn," and then we actually also have a lyric video for the web as well. YouTube. Yeah, I forgot about YouTube. We're on there as well.
Yeah. Well, Mindy, thank you for coming on. Anytime you guys have some new music news or events or anything you want to talk about, come on anytime, and I would love to have you on my show again.
Awesome. Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.